This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to the Bladen County Board of Commissioners, Monday, January the sixth. Reverend David Foster from Bladen Baptist Association will provide the invocation, and I ask Ron Taylor if he'd lead us in pledge of allegiance afterwards. Stand, please.
Holy God, we take this moment to recognize your presence in this place. We thank you, Lord, for that presence, and not only your presence, but your provision for guidance, direction, clarity, strength, perseverance. In a moment, we'll say a pledge of ourselves to one nation under God. Well, right now, I pray that you help us be one county under the leadership of the Holy Spirit, recognizing that that's the great direction. That's the good foundation that we need to build upon. Lord, I thank you for these leaders that have been elected by this county. I pray, God, you give them guidance and direction, and may they be receptive of that guidance and that provision that you give to them, Lord. May they be open to it. May they have the desire to receive it, Lord, even call out and ask for it. And I thank you even now, Lord, for the way you'll provide just what's needed in the moment. Help us, Lord, as a county to work together as we have to continue recognizing the needs all around us and doing our part together as a unified group to make Bladen County just the best county that it can be. All to your glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Stanley. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. David. Thank you, Mr. Ron. I need to, before we approve the consent item 15A, I need to scrap economic development. Second, motion by Mr. Booth, to approve the consent item as amended, second by Mr. Gillespie. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Presentation of Human Trafficking Prevention Proclamation. If we all come up front and y'all come forward. Ms. Marie is going to read that for us. Here in the center.
Whereas human trafficking is a nationwide public health and civil rights crisis. Victims and survivors are everywhere with Bladen County. Whereas human trafficking includes both labor and sex trafficking with both international and domestic victims. Whereas anyone can become a victim of trafficking. While women and girls are the primary victims and survivors come from every background, race, gender, sexual orientation, and economic status. Traffickers target individuals who, for any reason, are vulnerable. Whereas young people are particularly vulnerable to trafficking and exploitation, but face many barriers in reporting what has happened to them. North Carolina became the 13th state to pass a safe harbor law that recognizes any youth under the age of 18 who comes forward will no longer face criminal prosecution, instead receiving comprehensive and trauma-informed services. This law provides communities across North Carolina with the knowledge, skills, and resources to effectively identify and work with sexually exploited and at-risk youth. Whereas we encourage victims to seek assistance from appropriate victim service organizations with Families First, through the Families First Crisis Hotline. It is important to recognize the compassion and dedication of the individuals who provide services safely to human trafficking victims and work to increase public understanding of this significant problem. Whereas everyone has the right to live free from abuse. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that January 2025 has been designated as Human Trafficking Prevention Month throughout the county of Bladen, and we urge our community to assist victims with safe and accessible services such as Families First. This agency will provide information and supportive services while instituting effective intervention and prevention policies. The County of Bladen strives to become a place where human trafficking does not exist, where people have opportunities available to them, and where all people are treated as fully human and worthy of a supportive community and freedom.
So on behalf of the Bladen County Commissioners, we want to thank you for what you're doing around human traffic. And if you call me tomorrow, I might have some money for you, a billboard, if you don't have billboards up, because we really probably do need to get that phone number out. And
Thank you
I
so
think
much.
I might be able to do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Dr. Money. Ms. Terry, Jill Sampson?
It is with so much excitement and pleasure that I introduce you to somebody that you already know. But we would like to recognize tonight Jill Sampson as the Director of Social Services, newly appointed last week. She took her oath of office. I'll let Jill tell you a little bit about her background, because she, of course, knows it better than anybody else. But for me, she started as a clerk in social services and came as a second career even.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I actually came to Bladen County government from the Bladen County school system, and to get into county government, I started in as a secretary, working my way over to a child protective services supervisor, frontline worker, then the CPS supervisor, then marching on up to the social work program manager, and then at least now the director. So I have learned all the way on one side of the agency and look forward to working with everybody. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Welcome, Ms. Jill, to Bladen County as a Department of Social Service Director. Individuals, delegation wish to address the board? Okay.
Mr. Jones, Lucy Jones.
Good evening, Commissioners. Good evening. My name is O.C. Jones. I'm the Operations Superintendent of the George Henry White Memorial Health and Education Center. I think you may have some handouts in front of you. And I was supposed to be accompanying I was supposed to have Mr. Howell, the Emergency Service Director, here tonight to support our efforts and bring to your attention the problem that we have with the 911 system. I think back in November, I think some of the citizens came here and spoke to that. But I don't think they brought the full picture of what the issues are as it relates to possible liability for Bladen County, liability to the George Henry White Memorial Health and Education Center. And it's basically around the 911 center. When we first started that project, we had an address of 390 Farmers Union Road. And some time passed, and I realized that there was another 390 right down the street. So I went to the address department and had our address changed to 731 Farmers Union Road. As we progressed and opened up the center, we realized that because of the 911 center and the location of the George Henry White Center, which is only about 300 yards away from the county line, coming from Rehoboth to the south and north, back to Porterville Road. If we have an emergency at the center, what I try to tell everyone is please use our phone because it's hooked up into the 911 center in Bladen County. Sometimes people listen, sometimes they won't. We had an event where we had a lot of people there. The person got ill. Another person with the best intentions picked up their cell phone and called 911. The 911 center in Columbus County picked it up and started the process to send emergency people, ambulance, whatever, to the wrong location over there in Columbus County. And out of all the confusion, when I realized what was going on, I stopped it, picked up our phone, and dialed 911. Within 7 minutes, someone was coming up in the driveway. So the problem was a miscommunication because of where that center sits at. Give you an example. There's a picture right in front of you. I can go to the flagpole, pull out my cell phone, and dial 911, and the Bladen County 911 to pick it up. I go to the backyard, do the same thing, Columbus County can pick it up. And that is a serious potential problem, because you have an emergency, minutes count, miscommunication. I used to be in law enforcement back in the 70s, and I know about public safety, proper way to communicate things, and how to eliminate human error. Mr. Howell, from your emergency service director, he completely agreed with me that something's got to be done to alleviate that problem. And the only thing that's plausible is change that name from Farmington Road to another name. Because the center is already in the 911 system in Bladen County, there's no issues with it. Now, Mr. Coleman brought to my attention a ordinance that says to make a change that you've got to have the majority of the residents and landowners in and around that property to agree to make that change of the name. I've already drawn up that petition, and I met with some of the residents, and that's why they were here in November. And I tried to explain to them best I could how important it was. But like most situations, most people resent change. And they weren't really listening to what I was trying to tell them. What was driving me was the possibility of someone having an emergency, and this chain reaction starts with miscommunication when you have somebody to pass away. Some of them understood and some of them didn't. So that drove some of them here that night. And so it's my understanding from Mr. Howard, they have made a major improvement with their system, because now if an emergency comes in and they dispatch the ambulance and fire department, they got the screen that's going to tell them exactly how to get the Farmington Road. You didn't have that before, but you got it now. But that still does not address the potential for human error. The only way to do that, Mr. Howell says, is change that name from Farmington Road to something else. Because operating the center, Mr. George Henry White legacy is something that's a strong legacy. Mr. White was born and raised right over in Rosendale. He ascended to the North Carolina General City, United States Commerce. He started his own bank. He started his own city of Whitesboro, New Jersey. So the heritage of Mr. White is there. That road is not even a mile long. So what the petition that I put together says that we just change the name to either George Henry White Road, SR, or George Henry White Way. And Mr. Howell was supposed to be here again tonight, but he couldn't because his wife was sick. But I can't tell you how important that we address it, because Bladen County will have some type of liability. Back in October, we hosted the Mountain to the Coast cycling event. We had 700 cyclists on our property. When I agreed to allow us to do it, I started worrying, what if someone, when those cyclists got sick or whatever? And we started that chain reaction. That could be extremely embarrassing to Bladen County, to the George Henry White Center. So Mr. Coleman realized that potential, and he had two Bladen County Sheriff officers stationed there at that center from 6:30 in the morning until that last cyclist left his property, because he knew how important it was. So what I'm trying to do is come in for this body, use this ordinance that Mr. Coleman gave me, and try to get a majority of the folks that live on that street to agree to it. Right now, we're at 50-50. meaning we need a majority, we got 50-50. Most of the landowners are agreeable to change the name. A few of the residents are reluctant to do it because they don't want to change, not realizing how important it could be to their own relatives. If somebody gets sick, need emergency services, and the wrong center picks it up. I don't know if you know that over the weekend, they had a problem with the 911 system. All of the 911 calls, as I understand it, this past weekend had to be transferred from Columbus County over to Bladen County, for whatever reason, because I think the A&T lines were down or something. But if you add all that stuff in, you got somebody's life in your hand. You cannot have that and be a strong public safety community. So what we're trying to do is alleviate that problem. Now, I've got Ms. Wanda Clay, she's one of the landowners, and I want her to speak briefly. But what I want to leave you with today is Mr. Powell is saying the clock is ticking. We've got to fix this problem before we have a tragedy. What they've done so far is great because they didn't have that. So the call into fire department, they look on that screen, they can see right where the farmer's engine road is. Before they couldn't see it. They didn't know how to get there. Now they can. But you still got the human errors. I try. All our businesses that we get in their conflict coming from all over the state and the country. And I tell them, if you have an incident, please let me know. But people don't always do what you ask them, because they're human. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Wanda.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to speak tonight. I am speaking on behalf of the mothers, the fathers, the children, the grandchildren, and on behalf of our farmers and our landowners. We have managed and operated farmland in that community for over 100 years. The Spaldings, the Camels, the Moores, the Freeman, and we really are concerned not only about the families, but the farmers bring in people that help them farm the land. And we make a dynamic contribution financially by paying taxes. I calculated my taxes since I inherited my property. And I said, I know I've paid over $60,000 just myself. And I also realized the impact that agriculture plays in Bladen County. Bladen County is one of the top agriculture counties in the state. And so our farmers and our landowners in that community make a dynamic financial contribution to the U.S. Department of Agriculture numbers that are reported in Raleigh with Steve Troxel, the Secretary of Ag. So when they report income, they're also talking about the income from the farmland, from the farm families and farmers that farm that land. So we're probably talking about at least, I know, 1,000 acres. So we value our community. We value how Bladen Community College, North Carolina, forestry folks here in Bladen County, and the Forestry Service, NC State, A&T, all of these folks have been a part of educational programming that we're actually doing in this house. So we're really increasing the educational knowledge of farmers and landowners. So like Mr. Otis said, if something happens at this house, you know, there's no way I could really sit back and feel good about knowing I did nothing to come before you. Bladen County is my home. I grew up in Bladen County, graduated from elementary school, Booker T. Washington, Clarendon High School, and was able to go off to school and college. And I'm just proud of Bladen County, and I love our family and our farm families and our communities. And I think it would really be a disjustice for all the people that come out for educational enhancement and training and get certified to go back and give back to not only their counties, but to this state and this country, and especially with agriculture. So when people come in, if something happens, you know, it really would not serve us well representing our county with what? The financial contribution that they make.
So when those ladies come earlier, I thought they were here to change the name, but they corrected me pretty quick. They weren't here to change the name of the road.
Well, one of them was, one was for, one was
At the end of them, both of them weren't for. And we worked on this thing, we got a pin in the system, what you're talking about, David said it did. So if you will work that process, the procedure to get those signatures and see what you can do, then I don't think we have a problem if you got signatures. But need the signatures, and if you can get signatures, then we have to go to the drawing board and see if there's anything we can do if you don't have the signatures, because I don't know how to answer that.
Okay, I got a question for you too, is that, here's the petition, we've already drawn it up, I'm gonna have another meeting at the center and try to open up some minds and get them understanding how critical this thing is. And then, once I get those signatures, according to the ordinance, I need to have to take it to the address office and then have them approve it, and the commissioners to take the final approval to approve it, then it can be done. But again, I said the clock is ticking. I'm in pure terror when we got a lot of visits to that center, because I hope nothing happens and start this crazy chain reaction and miscommunication.
I understand that, sir. We have to follow our policy.
I understand.
We've done everything.
I understand, and I appreciate it.
Robin, you want to inject something, I'll let you this time, because you do have the 10 on there.
It seems a bit trivial for us just to change the name, but again, it's the paperwork and the laws that we have to go through. It can be done quickly, but, and everybody has to understand that it's gonna change everything in their finances, and it's gonna be their legal addresses being changed.
So if you just work the process and come back, and I don't think we got a problem changing the name, if you get signatures.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Matters of interest to, commissioners, A is update regarding position classification and pay plan study. Mr. Bullock and Mr. Brett and myself met, and we looked at it, and we're waiting on a few more, responses. It's all over the board price-wise. Mr. Officer, you Ray, if you have anything to add, you can add, but more to come. We put it on here so that hopefully they'll get the information, so next meeting we can vote it up or down. But as soon as we get the information, we'll share it. Y'all have anything to add? I mean,
Nah, I don't have anything, but, we had narrowed down to two organizations, which was pretty good. There were 9 total, we narrowed it down to 2.
but more to come, but we had to get it on there at this meeting just for discussion, so that we can take action on the next meeting. Proposed amendment to Bladen County Personnel Policy regarding workman's comp. That's in your,
I just have a question on it.
okay.
My only question was, I understand saying the, insurance for the employee, but for the family as well, business? The employee would pay. Okay. Okay, thank you. They didn't say that. Okay.
So if you have any questions, call me or Marie, and we'll try to get you some answers. But, and then, swap shops.
Yeah.
Yeah, get that.
Hold it back.
So I know everybody's got flooded with this, the citizen concerns about us closing swap shops. And we have sent to all the commissioners in the section desk, if we're going to open them back up, what some things that we need to consider to put in place. Everybody will find that sheet.
Email?
You got an email, hey, Ms. Bree, put it, oh, it's right there behind that.
You got, that's it, get the in-laws.
Huh?
That's what we're talking about right
That's what I said, email.
Yeah. So, here are some suggestions that I want the board to consider, and we are not limited to these suggestions. We can add suggestions. I know Cameron had a couple comments a while ago I thought was positive. I think I don't think we need to have this, our policy or procedures or restrictions so that the offense has got to monitor. I think it needs to police itself. and just let's see how it goes, so there's no way to, like the first one here says, all items received must be clean and good conditions. I don't know how we can do that one. And once someone puts it there, whoever wants it can have it. And the one I was concerned about is, and I think it's a good one, but I don't know that how we need to do this one is, when you bring clothes there, that if we could hang them up versus them being in a bag or box, it would be a whole lot easier and cleaner and neater.
Yeah.
So I don't know what your thoughts are on that one.
Hang them up.
They'll never, you're talking like children's clothing, I mean, it's just, I think we need to make the rules at least to the point that they're reasonable, that people might follow.
I talked to a site attendant today at my office, and she'd been there a long time and used to handle a lot of the admin stuff for them. The problem with the things, according to her and a lot of the site attendants, is it does put them in a situation where they're having to confront some of these issues. So I guess, like Charles Ray is saying, if we do, hey, let's open them back up, then I think the site workers, they don't need to be in charge of all these ideas, because if they walk over to an individual and they say, hey, hang those clothes up, make sure those cans are clean, then all of a sudden it puts them in a position where they're going to be, if you have the right kind of person, it puts them in a controversial position. And that's what they say before, that they get a lot of, you know, like anything, they can be confronted about these particular situations.
And that's the reason I said they don't need to police these areas, we just need to decide what we're gonna do or what we're gonna require, and vote whether we open them back up or leave them closed.
And I think, Mr. Chairman, a couple, I mean, somebody's got to police it, and, you know, a lot of things are sort of objectionable. I mean, so clean to me might not be clean to somebody else, but, and I was surprised in the suggestion, there, one thing that we totally don't have in here is that's, you know, no dangerous, potentially hazardous, because a lot of times people will drop off a gas grill. Well, they ain't dropping off a good conditioned gas grill. I mean, it could be propane leak. I mean, you know, you don't want something that could be deadly. But there's nothing in the rules that are here about anything being dangerous or potentially hazardous. I don't think we need to have any food of any sort.
These suggestions are only suggestions, and they were just points to get the commissioners thinking about what we want to implement. So that's no, what propanes or however you word that.
Which is nothing dangerous, potentially hazardous. One of the things, is it possible that we could do something, say probationary? We're gonna give this one more shot. We want to open it back up, come up with the rules, and if in 6 months our workers tell us, listen, they ain't gotten a bit better, you know, give the community is in an uproar about it, give the community a chance to say, okay, here's the rules, are you going to abide by them? But, you know, I get that we need to listen to the citizens, I'm all about that, but we also need to listen to the employees that were complaining in the first place. There was a reason they were concerned.
These swap shops, what, 14 years old?
Yeah.
How old are they, 14? They've been in place 14 years, and now it's a problem all of a sudden. Mr. Brooks?
Biggest thing, of course, most of you know I got a store downtown, so my swinging doors swing quite a bit. The biggest complaint that I saw and heard, and I don't know how you monitor it, because I've had people to come back, the very issue that I'm fixing to tell you, that some particular individuals just come there and hoard it and take every bit of it. They go to flea markets and sell it. And the intent with some of the people to drop it off is for the needy and people that really need something. And that site workers will hold it for so-and-so, because she wants this, she wants that. So you get in a bad situation, and then now I'm gonna tell you the negative side of that. Some of the people that come to me that's taken there say, listen, I gave it, I don't care what they do with it. If they can hustle a dollar, hustle a dollar. And so it's all over the map. And, I don't know how you do it other than, just try to get the company that works those employees to be fair, and the workers are not the ones that's taking a bunch of it, because you hear that as well. So we've heard it all, the pluses, the minuses of whatever, and it's got us trapped in the middle. So it's not an easy situation.
So what I'm trying to do here is is there anything we want to put in place? And then let's vote whether we're open or closed. And that's where I was trying to get. And if you've got any suggestions, we'll write the suggestions down, or that's what we're gonna vote on. Those dangerous, how you want to word that, Mr. Chairman?
I think they're dangerous, potentially hazardous materials.
Potential.
No food items?
Yeah,
No food items in.
You gotta put it in food.
What about large?
yeah, that's,
That's on
yeah,
there.
that's already in there. But I still think somebody's got to police it. I mean, that's,
No, I think that's where our problem's coming in. Them people that's there, that, a lot of these contract employees are taking what they want to take. It's causing a problem with them because everybody's not friendly when they go to the land. And a lot of people complain, y'all get calls about how unfriendly those are. If we could separate them and just try and have Chip and his group when they go pick up a roller, just to kind of keep an eye on their, I don't know, whatever y'all wanna do is fine with me. I'm just telling you that them policing and looking after this is part of the problem.
But it's the county's responsibility and it's our facility.
What you want? That's what I want to know, what you want.
If you wanna do that, then we'll have to do it, not them.
But it's hard to get somebody to step up and be the police when they're getting low minimum wage.
I don't expect, those are not
I
employees.
think that's a very good point.
They are not our employees. They're contractors, so I don't expect them to do it.
Charles, right here, how many sites are there throughout? They're at each.
Yeah.
I think the site workers collectively.
17.
Yeah.
One in each precinct. I thought I was this close, I'm one of those.
The calls we were getting, I expected the room to be full of people. So I do wonder if it is as big a deal.
I know,
The people
a lot
that
of-
call me, I told them not to come, we're gonna talk about it. Come if you want to, but there's no need you coming.
I asked them to come.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought it was nice if they
I mean, the
want
calls
to
I
share
got,
their thoughts, and it's okay, because they want the swap shop in place. And I said, okay, if the citizens support it, I'll support them. I'm okay with that.
what's the pleasure of the board?
I make the recommendation, we open.
I second.
Do you want to put any guidelines on it? The ones we kind of, the ones we kind of,
And I think I would post them,
and
ask Mrs. Johnson to look and see what the legal technicalities are. If we post the standard, something to protect the county and the county's interest.
let me read, no potential dangerous items, what do we decide about the hangers?
Yeah, they should hang the stuff, because you can't see stuff.
Everybody in agreement? Cause we're gonna make a motion in a minute.
Yeah.
We just go ahead and say they're not gonna do it.
They're not gonna hang.
We can make that a rule, but they're not going to.
Unless you're gonna provide the hanger.
But I'm saying though, a lot of people bring them on their clothes and they hang them. You may have a few not, but if you don't, you're gonna have chaos. So they'll open up boxes and bags and clothes everywhere.
And that's what I was, let's just
So I
start,
say you tell
can we
them,
just start and then
Yeah.
we'll monitor.
ask them to do it.
No items to be held and no bulk items. No food, so that,
Now, when you say bulk items, now, you might want to put an example in there, like refrigerators or ovens or whatever.
I think that's, no appliances, well, I don't know, somebody might say why.
Okay.
you amend that, your motion to include all those, and can we take the 2 weeks notice to get the signs and stuff in their place? That'd be okay on the board?
That's correct.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That's good.
Next meeting.
And Mr. David second that. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chairman, that's a funny thing in there, I mean, again, it's just something quick thought, as far as any type of enforcement policy on that, or at this point, I mean, from Mr. Britt.
But I think also, Mr. Peters, when you get back to hangers, like Mr. Cameron said, my wife mentioned to me so many times, while you're at Walmart, or pick up 50 more hangers, she's not gonna give all of her hangers away, and I'm not gonna keep buying hangers either. So I don't know, I don't know what the deal is with hangers, because hangers are not cheap, especially if you got good hangers.
Most of the time, a
You
lot
really
of
know that, don't you?
what they're taking is they're taking children's clothes in a box. They've cleaned out their kids, and so it's not gonna be hung up, it's gonna be.
Well, what adults can, a lot of that, because all my back is there,
Well, you may specify that adults, items should be on hand.
You can't get that specific, my goodness, we either put hangers or not, we can, I mean, whatever we do, we can try, let's just try it for 6 months and see how it goes. Well, y'all mean your motion, y'all don't wanna make a motion in a
What did
second.
he say?
What you wanna do?
A mess out there.
You wanna stay with your motion or you wanna stay with the second?
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank y'all so much. So, we got, as a board of commissioners, we have got to do these roles and responsibilities of local public health governing board. We got to schedule this as a group or individually. How do y'all choose to do that? How long is it there? Hour and 5 minutes, one of them?
The prerequisites, 105 minutes, 5 modules, and then the roles and responsibilities is 3 modules. It doesn't give the time limit on that.
Are you looking at hour
I'm
and a half
thinking
to
it's
2
about
hours?
2 hours.
Y'all want to try to schedule that one day or what? Or you want to try to do it individually?
It's electronic or in person.
You can do it, that's fine.
You can do it online individually, or you can schedule it in person. You have to give a month's notice for an in-person.
What's the pleasure of the board?
So we have the option for both. I mean, in other words, if you want to do individual time, you can do it.
Yeah.
Then we stick with the individual.
So Marie, can we just, get them the information so they can sign up? And, can we say we do it the next 3 months? Would that be good?
You have to do it within the first 3 months of your appointment.
30 days.
So it needs to be done by the end of February. But it's not but about 6 hours. The link, you can do it individually, and then you print your certificate.
Okay, so we'll get you information out, you sign up and take it between now and the end of February, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
so I got some good news.
Amen.
The military is coming in the morning at 9 o'clock. I'm meeting with them at 9 o'clock, and they are here to design and plan the Kelly Dyke repair in July. If nothing don't happen, we're still on go on that. They'll plan it this week, and I'll know more about that after tomorrow, after this week, but it looks like they're coming to plan to do work in July. That's the blessing.
Amen.
Right.
So, you know, we had some art money that we give out. And I'm gonna read this list real quick, and if you were the one that give these people the money, then they got to do their report. Some of them's way past due. So Cape Fear Lodge, 300. Salvation Station Empowerment Incorporated.
Yes.
Disciples Incorporated, Listtown Dixie U, Blainburg Dixie U, Hickory Grove Fire Department, Lisbon Fire Department, BFW Post 8062, Tar Heel Fire and Rescue. 2 of those, Tar Heel's on twice on 2 reports. Small World Rural Heritage, those are past due. I got the list of who.
Well, you should have emailed with those,
Okay.
then that way we can look at it.
And then the ones that are currently due right now, that's not past due, but that's currently due, is Sparta Road, Town of East Arcadia, Habitat for Humanity, the Mercy House, Dublin Peanut Festival, and Sparta Monroe. Got 2 on there.
I need to see which stuff they just want. I need to see which one of them, please.
We'll
Send an email.
We'll send an email with all that on there.
And salvation.
Okay, any other commissioners, anything?
I've got one thing, Mr. Chairman. A.J. Keating was supposed to be here tonight, but got killed out of town, so he asked me to share an update. He's the one doing the housing project. We were able to get the water to Spring Branch Road. So they have built 3 homes. They've, sold them. He's working on the 4th house on Spring Branch. The water's been installed, tested by the state, ready for the hookup. He has a plat for another subdivision on Purdy Hall road, which will be 8 lots on the front, and then possibly some more in the back. These homes will start around 300,000, which is where the ones on, that he's already built are. He's hoping to start on those in the next couple months, so they're hoping to get water down pretty, and it's pretty close, it's just around the corner to Pretty Church Road, which will also hopefully access some others that are been waiting on water a long time. This was something that we did, and then Camorras was able to kind of, I think, they were kind of able to backdoor it a little bit, so. But he just said, thank you so much for all that you've done. You know, he's a smaller guy doing some building, but it's working. Of course, that's up toward Cumberland County, but providing some nice homes. And but he said, thank you for making it happen, and thank you for what you're going to do, too.
Anyone else got any comments? If not, I entertain a motion to go on water board. Thank you, good and safe by Mr. Ellis. Any discussion?
What about
Wait,
the
what?
request for DSA?
Foster care.
Item 6.
Item 6.
Okay. All right. Jill Sampson, I was skipping that for a reason.
Good afternoon again. I'm Jill Sampson, the Director of Bladen County DSS, and I have with me Ms. Sheila Manuel, our foster care supervisor. We come to you today due to the 100% increase in foster care children that we've had since the 24-25 budget implementation. The agency is requesting to increase the funding budget. The amount that we are in need of is $300,424. And that is in order for us to pay room and board for our foster children. In your packet, you'll see a breakdown of the federal, state, and county shares for the period of July 1st, 2024 through June the 30th of this year. And to date, the agency has 65 children in care.
Jill, that last number I said was saying was $100 and some thousand. Why did it go back to 300? That's the reason we put it on last month's agenda.
Yes, sir. That amount was for our respite care, the one that we met with Trillium on.
That was the total, that was the new total of what I was told, $100 and some thousand.
That was $154,000 was for the all-county respite foster care for 3 children.
That's that motion table.
That's a question on that. Ms. Sampson, how many that are out of state now that we still have problems placing children in state? You have that number?
So all of our children are in state. We just have children that are out of county.
Yeah, but we were dealing with, looking at, the head boss back there. And so we were at one time, I know, because we did have some out of state.
We have before, like in Virginia, when they had to go to a facility for, like, when they had severe diabetes for a medical facility, but currently we do not have any children out of state.
How early do you need these additional funds?
When this budget was prepared, it was projecting 36 children, which was what we had in the previous years. We did have an influx that brought us up to 75 children back in December, and luckily 10 of those were able to go back home. And we actually picked up 3 more children on yesterday.
Well, that's why you're asking for this increase, because you got more citizens to deal with.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
They were all in county,
They're all Bladen County children.
that many in that short?
Yes, sir.
I have a question. You said it's on respite?
We have 3 children in respite care.
For 154. Oh.
Yes. That's $250 a day for their room and board. This is projected to carry through the rest of the year, through the end of this fiscal year.
$250. But you don't give it to the family. You don't get that amount to, so where's that breakdown? Because they don't get it.
That is right. So what the state tells us is if we do not have a placement that will take these children, and these children that are in this respite placement, these are your extra, they have extra behavioral needs. So, well, some may even go beyond that, that may need a locked facility, and they're waiting placement for it. But the 3 that we have right now are children with extreme behavioral issues.
That's why Dr. Duncan had expressed before, that was our issue, that really, really severe, sometimes in-state wouldn't take them, so we had to go out of state, and that's where the money went out of sight.
So, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't, well, I didn't put this on the agenda last month because it was $300,000, and they went back and revisited it, and Vicki showed me something with $100,000 finished the year.
She just rested, she said
And
just
that-
rested.
No, that was the whole
The whole thing?
package,
Okay,
and that's the reason
and that makes some good
I ain't
sense.
got my notes, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I really think we
No.
need to table this versus putting, but, it's up to the
What
board.
does, Ms. Lisa have?
I can address that. There was a total of $424,000 we were gonna have to increase the general fund on the other. There was
The
300
the
that was.
sheet I seen had $300,000, and I
That was
asked
the
them to go back. No, it was the whole thing, I could show it to you tomorrow, and I asked them to go back, and what the total was, and what I understood was $100,000. Because there was 2 or 3 that went off of it and everything else, what Vicki told me now, Vicki's not here no more. But if the board wants to approve $300,000, I'll entertain a motion to approve it, and if I'm wrong, I'll apologize next week.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna matter. At the end of the day, we still gonna have to we have to support them. I mean, if it's 300, it's 400,000, we still gonna have to take care of it. So I make the motion that we fund, hey. Things are a little hot, but
Motion to approve it.
I second.
Second, Mr. Bullock, any discussion? Ms. Brett?
I don't see, you see an issue with us reinvestigating what Mr. Peterson has said to make him feel comfortable, and the rest of us, if there's some discrepancy?
Yes, we'll be glad to do that. But the last respite sheet that we did have shows $154,000 for that line item. Oh, yes, sir, we'll be more than glad to do that.
It's not gonna cause a hardship. I would rather say that so people feel more comfortable.
Absolutely.
I can
so we're
withdraw, I
gonna
can
need before
withdraw.
then?
We are in need of paying for our December board payments, so if we do not get approval, to be quite honest, we will not have payments for, those
And you
foster
gotta pay
children.
them, and you have to. It's not fair to them. So can we just pay that amount of money then? I'll remove my,
Whatever the board wishes to do, I'm telling you what Vicki gave me before she left. And it's on my desk.
I'll remove.
But however you wanna do it,
I'll
it's
remove
fine with me.
I will remove my motion and then go back just for the payment for the month of December. Because it's not fair to them. Because you're gonna lose your support out there if you don't have people for respite. Right.
I think, just my small opinion, I think a bigger, if we are gonna address questions or anything like that, just as far as looking, make sure we're doing the right, which we're gonna do the right thing, is how in the world do we get that many at the end of the year? You're saying, one of you said in December we had that many more. I think that's also a very good question because, if it keeps on, I'm just,
So what
that's
we're
just a
seeing,
concern to me. I just can't believe all of a sudden that many more. That's magnanimous. That's
Yes,
amazing.
absolutely. So what we're seeing are larger sibling groups, and a lot of our issues that we're seeing are substance abuse by the parents, mental health, and domestic violence.
So, Ms. Peterson, I have no problem, just like Dr. McGowan said, we got to pay. I mean, whatever we have to do to make sure that we stay in compliance and pay the people, I have no problem with it. But just for clarity, so everybody feel comfortable, misunderstanding of the numbers is what I'm saying.
Okay, so we're even out in 24 and then deal with 25 on next time. That work?
Yes. That's why I started with my,
Sure.
motion.
So we should
I'd make a motion that we do that if that's in order,
make our obligation good for,
through the end of 2024, and then revisit January 25 on, the next meeting.
Motion by Mr. Cameron, second by Dr. Hayfield, Mongold, any discussion? And I'm sharing what I was given to me, and if I'm wrong, but I didn't bring it, but that's the reason I took it off the agenda last month, because it was that high. And I asked her to revisit it, and she revisited it and gave me a different number. But I reckon I should have checked before coming to the meeting. I'm sorry. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Motion order, motion by Mr. Hester, second by Mr. Ellis, in the water board. Don? D is to consider authorizing water district staff to deactivate, decommission 2 wells located in Tar Heel.
Make that motion, Mr. Chair.
I second.
Motion by Mr. Britt, second by Dr. Hayfield, Goins. Any discussion? What does that mean? One of them's Dr. Fox, and the other one's, go ahead, Don, you know more.
It's 2 wells that we acquired when we acquired the Tar Heel system, and one of them tested positive for PFAS, and there's not enough room to put a filtration system on it, and the other one yields a small amount of water. And currently, they're turned off, we don't use them at all.
Okay, all right, thank you. Take them out of commission so you don't have to continue the water test and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because when we do the water testing, we just run the water out on the ground.
Okay.
Question. Exactly, when you close that well down, what do you do?
To start with, we'll physically disconnect it from the system, which is simply as taking the meter out. And then if we want to permanently do it, we'll get a well driller to come in and fill up the casing with gravel.
Any more discussion?
One question. I know we hadn't talked about this in a while, but Tar Heel Fire Department's having just tremendous trouble with water pressure, with dirty water, things like that. Is that improved? It was hoping.
It has some, and they have their own private well now too, also.
We didn't run a line.
We were gonna run a line, but
We didn't run a line.
It just seemed like it went away.
Right.
It did go away.
So, remind me tomorrow, is Alan here tomorrow?
Yes.
Let's talk to Alan about that, because they was talking about doing a filter or something on that.
Right.
And I don't know exactly what it is, to be honest with
Yeah,
you. That was in Gibbs, and, you know, right, let's talk about that tomorrow.
All right.
That's not on you, that's on me. There was a couple options there, is what I'm saying, and I don't remember exactly which ones they were and what we've done on them, but last I heard, it was getting a price from the well people to do something, so Alan should know that tomorrow. If not, we'll call well people.
All right.
Thank you, thanks.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. So, Mr. Hester, second by Mr. Gillespie, that's the order board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Advisory Board upon Industrial Facility.
We just need one person to fill that room.
Yeah, you volunteer?
Oh.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. We just need one. I thought you was volunteering.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I'm Mark Gillespie.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Who made that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Make that motion.
They supposed to be full vaccination.
Mr. Rodney, any discussion, all in favor, say aye. All opposed? I don't think they ever meet for you.
That's why I took it.
Why did fire department?
Table that, they were supposed to get back with me and they still haven't.
Motion to table, Mr. Cameron,
Hey,
second by,
they do, I'll resign.
Second.
second by Mr. Bullock. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Okay, so January 21st, we got Adult Home Care Advisory Board, and I asked Marie to see if she could contact the ones on there and see if they can continue on there, because that, I think you have to do classes and everything else for that, so maybe we'll have an answer on those, but that's 2. Airport Appeal Board, EMS Advisory Council, Keep Line Beautiful, we have got that ready to approve. Rural Transportation Advisory Committee and, Korean Southern Regional Advisory Board. And 10, for February the 12th, got some Community Child Protection Team, Region 10 Aging Advisory Council, and Nursing Home Advisory Council. So the calendar review.
So, the 13th is, what's the 13th?
On Monday.
Monday?
So the Animal Control Board meets the 14th. Miss Bladen Youth Focus Pageant is the 18th. The 20th, county office closed, and got Martin Luther King, celebration at 11. The 36th annual parade. Board of Commissioners meet, the 21st, 6:30. And for February, EWL Chamber of Commerce Annual Gala at Cape Fear. Has everybody seen that? I think it's $75 per person to go to that, if you want to go to that. 8 o'clock is prayer service, 12 to 5 is the blood drive at Houston Grove Baptist Church, and we'll meet at 6:30 that night. The Trail Festival weekend starts, February the 14th through the 17th. Board of Commissioners meet, 17th February. Anything we need to add, take away? I done jumped the gun. We got to schedule that, I didn't see that. We're gonna, item B, 11B is, that will be done individually instead of, trying to schedule something. And we'll get all that information out. That's the pleasure of the board. And we need to consider a work session. And Marie, do you have some dates? Here's some possible dates, if you would, please.
January 9th, these are Thursdays. January 9th, January 16th, and January 23rd, and Tuesday, January 28th.
Does any of those work?
What time? It depends on time for me.
Well,
Maybe it.
start that morning or lunch and go.
Well,
It's gonna take.
I can't do the 16th. Cause I have, my
Oh,
grandbaby has.
we need to review that fire study, or we need to do an ad hoc committee to go, however you wanna do it.
I can do the night and, I missed
The
20th,
ninth?
I can't.
Who could do the ninth of January?
9,
16, 23, 28.
I can't do 16th at all. The 23rd, I can do 23rd.
Will the 23rd work?
Yep.
Work for me. What time you gonna do it? Good God, man. What time you gonna do it?
We have a meeting. We have a
Start at
meeting.
lunch?
We have,
Have lunch and start,
what time?
or that morning?
No, lunch and, let's be good.
Is that good?
23rd of January.
Huh?
Thursday, 23rd.
Not
Well,
good for
we
you?
can
Not good for
we
you?
go to midnight. We start by.
So you said 12?
Yeah, 12 to, whenever. 12 to whenever. Somebody make that motion, please.
So moved.
Second. Cameron, motion by Mr. Cameron, second by Mr. David, to do the 23rd, starting at 12 o'clock, and Maria send all the information out. It'll be at Jones's Lake, Miss Maria. Okay? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, thank y'all. That was the easiest one we've ever done. Jones Lake. Thank you. Whew. New year. Individual delegation wishing to address the commission. Matters of interest to commission, anybody?
I sure hate to ask, but last meeting, we said we were gonna try to get an update on the bridge. Did we get one?
I heard. They're still working on it. Maybe. I probably got that during the holidays. We'll do that this time.
I can tell you, my son's brother-in-law is an engineer with, I said, he said you definitely looking sometimes well over in the spring because they can't do concrete because of the weather and the time that it has to be good weather, even after they pour. So the pouring of concrete is.
Never done concrete,
Yeah.
the asphalt, maybe the asphalt.
Okay. Well, that's all the same way.
Well, he said concrete.
Yeah, they're probably more there at the end of the one.
I'm just telling you, that's what I was.
It's crazy.
My grandson's birthday was yesterday, so I heard it.
Yeah. Okay, so entertain a motion
I have
to
a
close.
question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just asking, I realized that we changed the access to the courthouse. But I heard that locks for all over the county, for all the buildings, were all of them changed? Or just certain buildings?
Nothing, no, I don't know, none of the locks changed, did they? All we done is change the cards.
The what?
All we done is change the courthouse code to Superior, actually go on just to tighten up securities instead of having 4,000 cards out. And that's the reason we're doing the ramp stuff out there, so no locks, it changes the access card.
Okay, but how about this building next door, the left second building, was that, you changed the locks on that one, or the access to
Change
that?
the code.
The code, and that one's code, can we have access to that? Anyone else?
Get in there.
And that, but the rest of them didn't do, that's right, nobody like that,
If you need to get in there, we can get you in.
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, so I guess we'll be coming getting all that stuff out there. Yeah.
But Madison's done that.
What you told me? All this out of date.
What they doing?
I was gonna throw it away.
So we're gonna use that building anymore? Are we gonna use the building?
Well, it'll be there for emergency whenever,
It
whatever it's needed.
need a lot of work done too, because there's leaks and water.
The roof, they're in the process of fixing the roof.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know when, but it's on the list.
Water, about 6 inches of water in there.
Okay. Yep. Consider entering closed session in accordance with NCG 414. So moved. Dash 318.11. Motion by Mr. Bud, second by Mr. Hester. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Okay, sir. Let's take 2 or 3 minutes.
This conference will now be recorded.
Favor, say aye.